Hello and welcome to this updated video guide for completing the Aetherochemical Research Facility in Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. My name is TSDS and in this video you'll learn everything you need to know to get manipulated. This place will take a bit under 20 minutes to clear, so let's take a look. Trash packs towards the first boss are pretty small, so tanks will often double up. However, do be aware that at a couple of locations, big walls will appear to block your way. When these appear, so will some more trash, so kill everything to open the way again. The section immediately after the first ad wall will have some more. First, you'll have one wall blocking your path, as you can see here. Once this trash is clear, two more walls will appear behind you at the same time, along with a bunch more trash. As the tank, just pick it all up for AoE. Keep pushing on and eventually you'll find the first boss. The first boss is Regula, I can't fucking remember this. The first boss is Regula van Hydrus. This is a pretty easy fight. Shortly into it, the boss will jump to one side of the room and summon a turret elsewhere. The turret will tether to a random player with this golden line. This turret will occasionally shoot the targeted player, however if someone is standing in front of you, they'll take the hit instead. But this doesn't matter for Toffee. While the turret is alive, the boss will huck line AoEs at random players, so kill the turret and move back to the boss. Not long after, the boss will do the same thing, but with two turrets. The other turret targets random players with circle AoEs. Just kill both and go back to the boss again. Once the second set of turrets are destroyed, the boss will move to the centre of the room and cast a large cone AoE, so just move behind him to avoid. At this point he'll basically be dead, so GG and no re. In the next part of the dungeon you'll come across a big ball, so, kill it. As it gets damaged, ads will spawn from the vats around the room. Tanks basically just run around grabbing threat and everyone else get your AoEs out. This ball ad thing will repeat further on and afterwards you'll find the second boss. The second boss is Harmachis. Harmachis. And honestly, he's also pretty easy. During the fight, it will frequently transform into different looking mobs. However, the only thing you should still care about is when it turns into this robot tree spider thing. Here, a random player can get this small target indicator underneath them. If you see someone get targeted by this, make sure at least one other person goes and stacks with them. If you do, nothing really happens. If you don't, that player will get yeeted into the air and take a lot of damage. Other than that, nothing else is even worth mentioning these days. It's just random AoEs and the occasional frontal poison attack. After this, hop onto the lift and interact with the terminal to take it down. At about halfway down, 3 ads will spawn. They're not hard or anything, but they spam AoEs and you're in a tiny lift, so kill them and move on. Here, the scenery starts getting a bit more trippy. As you move through this area, random bits of the background will move down and form the floor that you'll walk on to progress through. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. If you're not sure which direction to run in to trigger this, just take a quick look at your minimap as it shows where the pathway is. This area is pretty easy to work out and you'll have a couple more lifts you'll need to go on, but no mobs will spawn on these. Eventually you'll reach the final boss line. The third boss is Lahabrea and his girlfriend. When the fight starts you'll deal with the girlfriend while Lahabrea shoots AoEs. When she's at half health they switch around. A lot of these AoEs will overlap, like when you get ice crystal AoEs around the edges, immediately followed by fireball AoEs in the middle. Or you can have the ice AoEs in a plus shaped, followed by fire AoEs in a roughly H shape. It's a bit random, just keep on your toes. Once Lahabrea switches in, he'll start dumping void zones around the place, which act a bit like landmines. The girlfriend will also freeze the room, causing you to slide in whichever direction you move in, and she'll spam big AoEs. Just take a second to check which direction is safe and then move out of harm's way. It's not that hard of a fight even if it looks it. Once Lahabrea hits 50%, it'll trigger a cutscene for the first timers. This cutscene takes a minute or two, but don't feel like you need to skip it, people can wait. Lahabrea and his crumpet will fusion, and become Ascian Prime, the final boss. You'll be taken out of combat and placed back at the boss line to start at your leisure. Aside from a few random AoEs to dodge, the main things to look out for are when the boss spawns one ice and one fire orb on either side of itself. These will slowly move towards the boss and do bad things when they get there, so just kill them. During this time, it's not uncommon for 2 players to get huge donut AoEs. If you've split up to kill the orbs, then you might not really need to react. If you're all nearby, then it's a good idea just to group together. After a while, the boss will spawn 4 rifts around the room. Shortly after, it'll start casting Universal Manipulation. You have a solid amount of time to react to this, but before it goes off, run into a rift. These are 1 per player, so try to see where your team is to avoid throwing someone under the bus. Being in a void holds you in place and deals a small amount of damage, but that's quite ignorable. Not being in a void when this move goes off hits you with a bunch of debuffs. It's a slightly nastier bad breath attack. Just note that this also puts people to sleep, so it's potentially tricky if your healer goes to bed. You'll see this void attack twice before the boss drops. The last mechanic to mention is every player getting tethered to a red orb. These will move towards their target and blow up in their face. However, eating someone else's orb doesn't hurt as much as eating your own, so run into the orbs of your party and someone will run into yours. And if they don't, then just kite it into someone. Just not like if they're about to die. And that's the Aetherochemical Research Facility. If you've enjoyed the guide, then let me know, and if there are any other guides or perspectives you'd like to see, then check out my channel or feel free to ask me to create one. Thank you for watching, and good luck.